Welcome vegans and non-vegans. My name is Epic Vegan Power here on YouTube. I'm debunking non-vegans, and this time we're doing Charlie Kirk. We have our hands on the video that seems to have been deleted because he seems to have lost the debate. We will see why. He possibly has lost the debate against a vegan because he's such a good rhetorical character. He shouldn't be able to lose a debate, but we will see into that. If you are willing to debate me anytime, just post in the comments. I'm happy to debate you on your position, and we're gonna test your position on logical consistency. Here we go. Charlie Kirk.
We have a singular question. Yeah, right, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. So I've seen, based on most of your clips, that I agree with most of your beliefs and stances on things. Besides
Israel.
No, there's one.
I guessed.
There's one topic that I disagree with your logic on. And I've seen when you debate other people on this topic, oftentimes they get kind of shoot off the mic. So I ask that you please give me a fair chance to debate. I believe that the
Well, first of all, this guy seems a little bit on the carb, something like that. I don't know. He's talking like very slowly. Maybe he's a little bit under pressure. Probably he's got the jitters, talking in front of an audience to so many people and talking to Charlie Kirk, so not doing any mistakes. Lots of ahs and ums and talking very slowly. So it gets a little bit painful to watch, maybe to listen to. But in the end, we want to hear the message.
Breeding, exploitation, and killing of animals for food when we do not have to is immoral. And obviously,
Did you lose a bet?
So again,
yeah, he's not taking it seriously. That's what you can see.
I'm serious. I would ask for a fair chance at a debate.
Oh, Charlie Kirk is already with the hands in his hair. He's like, it's gonna be a hard one. I don't want to debate on this question because I know I'm gonna lose.
Without shooing me off the mic or making jokes, please.
How do I go about it? I have never prepared, or even he knows his position is very weak. We'll see what's gonna happen.
What do you eat?
What do I eat? Like for protein.
That's a question. How is the debate gonna be? Who's gonna debate who, and what position is going to be challenged? We'll see.
Are you really gonna miss this?
We do this training once a year. There's 800,000 to 1 million people that'll join us.
Sure.
I eat tofu, nutritional yeast, seitan. I easily get over 200 grams of protein per day.
It's a lot of tofu to get 200 grams of protein, man.
That's not my, I have like about a pound a day. That's not my main source. That gives me about 40 a day. But I get 200 grams a day for lifting. In terms of actual health for humans, we do not need.
Okay, that's not very interesting, the health argument, actually.
That much. We barely even need 100 grams a day, which is easily obtained through plants.
Okay, so
Okay, if we go to the nutritional part, yeah, very low protein is actually absolutely fine for human health.
what is your contention? That we should outlaw or make it harder to eat animal-based protein?
No, I'm not.
Okay, now he's going to, what a debater usually does, he's going to ask the vegan to present his position. But what you usually want to do in a debate is to, it's what you want to do, is to force the other one to present his position and then attack his position.
Not as much concerned about the legality of it, more so the morality.
Okay, so are human beings equal to cows?
I would put human beings above cows.
Okay, so what moral, I mean, we don't want to see animal cruelty, but what moral worth would you say a cow has?
Now, he already conceded that he doesn't want to see animal cruelty, so in order just to say that and to be consistent, well, you would have to go vegan.
Has worth in the sense that we should not, like any sentient animal, cause them suffering.
Something with the audio.
Or kill them if we do not have to.
Right. So you don't eat fish either, I assume?
I don't eat any animal products at all.
No animal products. And no dairy.
No.
So full vegan.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
He's doing like, I have to find out, is he really a full vegan? Oh my God, I'm gonna have a hard debate now.
Do you know that there would actually be fewer cows if we didn't eat them?
I'm aware, yes.
So you would.
That's such a fallacious argument. So what? Who cares about how many cows there are? More important is how we treat them, how we force them into life and existence. There's very few of the other wild animals, so there would be logically very few cows, and that's not because we love animals or somebody loves animals that they want more of them. We just want them to have a higher quality of life.
You would argue for less cows, not more cows, basically.
I am against the breeding, exploitation, and slaughter of them for food.
What?
Yeah, but we're not arguing for less cows. We're just arguing against, like what he said, the breeding and exploitation and so on. If there happens to be like naturally big amounts of cows like roaming around and so on, well, we wouldn't be against that.
Obligations do we have to wild animals?
I mean, the animals that we eat are not wild animals. They're domesticated, and we specifically breed, control, and kill them. We control their whole life, so they're not really wild.
Should we stop other animals from being carnivores?
No, because those animals.
Yes, we should. I mean, they don't have the. If we could, we should. They don't have the right, those carnivore animals, to eat other animals. They don't have the right. It's not because they have the necessity to eat meat that the animal that's getting killed loses its right to life, you know. So basically, if we had like a magical stick where we can force all the animals, the carnivore animals, to be herbivore and it works, then we would do it.
Animals need to eat, like a lion needs to eat an antelope to survive. So in a survival.
It needs to eat it, yes, but it doesn't take away the right to life from the antelope. So in any situation where we would like witness it, it would be morally okay to stop the lion.
Survival situation, I believe it is okay to eat animals, but in the modern day, we do not need to.
It would be if we had a survival situation, the animal would still not lose its right to life, but we would just act immorally, which would be okay at this time to guarantee our survival. It would just happen, but it would still be a breach of rights of the animal.
And I believe that we were designed by God not needing to eat meat.
What scripture are you referencing?
Genesis 1:29.
Right, and it's you mean the scripture says God gave dominion over the animals
No, the one
of
that
the earth?
says I've given you every.
He doesn't even know. He's supposed to be like very knowledgeable on the Bible. He's like guessing. Oh, is it the one where?
Seed-bearing plant, fruit, and tree on this earth, and for you, that shall be meat.
Right, but again, just to continue a little further, to be clear, in the Noahic covenant, it does allow for animals to be
I'm aware.
killed.
So
Right.
after the flood,
And just to be clear, doesn't the law give guidance on how to kill animals? Like how to kill animals in certain ways? The Bible is explicitly pro-meat eating. So
Wait. So if the scripture gave laws on how to kill humans, would it be okay to kill humans? Can't you think for yourself?
much so that they would kill an animal as a sacrifice to God, or kill the fatted calf in celebration of something.
Yeah, but we don't have this connection to the animal anymore. Before that, the animal was a really valuable thing. You would just have a few of them, and it would be part of your family. So sacrificing it would be actually sacrificing a family member. But nowadays, like the animals we're breeding, they're absolutely not in the same context anymore.
when Jesus came, he ended the sacrifice, the animal sacrifice. So again, I think during that time there was a lot more food shortage.
Well, hold on. Jesus ate fish. He fed the 5,000 with fish.
Yeah, so like I said,
And so I don't understand. But Jesus didn't say, stop, don't eat the fish. They are sentient beings. He fed fish to people.
So like I said, in a survival situation where there's 5,000 people,
There was also
starving,
bread.
Yeah, but the bread has no protein. So in a survival
But he was,
situation,
hold on, Jesus is God. He could have been, here's a legume. Jesus is God. He could have said, here's an almond. He said, Jesus is God. He could have, here's a lentil. Yet Jesus said, here's fish. So who are you to question Jesus, who he fed the 5,000 with? He could have said, here's tofu.
Again, so the disciples brought him fish and bread. That was what he multiplied. Right?
Yeah,
That's
the
what they
feeding
had.
of the 5,000, right?
But I think in this modern day, we do not need to eat meat to be healthy, have good performance, and survive, and therefore causing immense suffering to these beings that do feel pain and suffering is wrong.
So I know this might seem unrelated, but I would hope to say you're also pro-life, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So you are consistent. When vegans are not pro-life, that is a...
Yeah, I'm overall conservative. I agree with you on pretty much everything besides this one issue.
But you would agree, though, animals are not humans.
Yes.
Reserve alojamento para férias que realize até o seu sonho mais extravagante.
Okay. But you would say, if I eat a steak, am I doing something immoral?
I would say that if you eat a steak knowing that, and you didn't have to, and you chose to pay for an animal.
Yes, I plan to do this tonight. So tell me what. Tell me.
So, like I said, I think the breeding.
Very disrespectful, you know. He was trying to have a fair debate, and he's like just taunting him.
Exploitation and killing of animals for food is immoral. Yes.
Immoral.
Yes.
But what moral, by what moral standard do you derive that from?
Well, are you against animal cruelty?
Of course I am. No one wants cruelty. In fact, the Bible...
So just by that simple phrase, he's against animal cruelty, and the whole existence of the animals is based on cruelty, you know. And then you could simply also just ask the question, would you do this to humans?
Bible's explicitly against animal cruelty. And so...
Even not asking, would you do this to humans? Would you do this to a dog, to a cat? You know, just filter out the psychopath, which will say, yes, I will do this to dogs and cats and humans. You know, but the average normal people, they won't do it to cats, to dogs, to other pets.
All of us should be. The animals actually made an appearance in the 10 Commandments. Animals got a Sabbath. They got a day off. It says, for 6 days you shall work and 1 day you shall rest, including your ox and your animal. So the Bible actually has done more for animal rights than any other ancient scripture that we can ever find. So I'm all there. No one wants animal cruelty. However, I just want to...
That's too cocky. Yeah, but they have done so much, so this is good. No, we can do even more. We can do better.
Understand by what moral framework do you say it is immoral to eat the meat of something that is not human, especially if we get nutrients and we human beings are able to flourish?
Well, I would say, why are you against animal cruelty?
Well, first of all, no one wants to see something suffer unnecessarily. But if and when you are able to derive calories, nutrients, and I would also contest one of the other things, that I do believe we need animal-based protein. In fact, I think one of the main reasons, and maybe you're able to work it out.
Okay, we don't need it. And let's say we could only get it from humans. Would it be okay to farm humans?
That young men are seeing such a dramatic drop in testosterone rates is the removal of animal-based proteins from diets, so young men especially, ages 10, 11, and 12, and replacement of a lot of these counterfeit soy.
Yeah, you need to, you have the burden of proof on that. It seems like a lot of bullshit.
Soy-based, plant-based proteins.
So studies have found that with equal calorie and protein intake, there is zero difference between in testosterone levels between animal-based diet and
This guy's already, the Charlie Kirk already gulping. He's like, oh God, I said something. Maybe I should. He's like closing his throat not to talk more bullshit.
Have you ever heard the term soy boy?
Yes, of course. I am a soy boy. Yes.
You are a soy boy.
In terms of that's what people call vegans. So yes, I am.
I didn't call you that. I just said, have you ever heard of the term?
Yes,
okay.
I've heard of the term. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's because.
Hold on, but again, I don't want to get too deep in the biology, but soy is inherently estrogenic, right?
So soy has phytoestrogens. They're not actual estrogens. They work in the
Ooh, the debunk is coming. It's pretty hard. It's gonna fall on his head and explode like a balloon.
body similar to a SERM, which is a selective estrogen receptor modulator. What that actually does, in some situations, that can actually lower estrogen in males if they have an estrogen imbalance. And
suppress testosterone production.
it does not suppress the testosterone production. Studies have found equal testosterone between meat eaters and vegans, considering calories and protein equal. In addition, many professional athletes
No. The consumption
are
of
vegan.
soy. The consumption of soy.
Yeah, I mean, most, in order to...
Let's get down to one last question, though, just from a very technical one. Wouldn't you agree that it is far more expensive to eat vegan than to eat animal-based
Another bullshit question.
protein? You have to go out.
It's about the same. Like a pound of, like when I before I went vegan, I'd have like 93% ground beef for like lean protein. That'd be like, at Aldi, it was like $6. So now I eat seitan, which most people don't know because it's, I just eat meat. But it has, in 400 calories, it has 80 grams of protein, and it's only $5. So I mean, it's not that expensive to eat vegan.
So, but let me just ask you one last question on this, because almost everything you consume has to be either manufactured or put together, where actually the way we're arguing to eat is far more of the earth and far more of whole foods.
Oh yeah, so you don't have to process animals to eat them. Yeah. And a banana and an apple is so far removed from nature.
The vegans actually have to go out of their way to try and have different ingredients and compositions and oils that largely are far more human interference into the consumption of the food process, right? Which one is more of the earth, eating vegan or eating, let's just say, more paleo, not necessarily carnivore?
So I'll answer that, then I have one question to ask back to you. In terms of the food itself, I eat mostly pretty much just whole food vegan. Like sometimes I'll eat a vegan, like Impossible Burger. That's not necessarily healthy.
No, time out, hold on. That is like the most manufactured.
I know,
like,
that's not healthy.
Not even healthy. Now you're proving my point. Like, let's just be clear. An Impossible Burger has like 50.
Yeah, but you don't have to eat that stuff as a vegan. It's like strawman arguments, like saying, yeah, but vegans have to eat that, and I find it's not good. I'm arguing against that. But he never argued that vegans have to eat Impossible Burgers.
50 ingredients that you cannot pronounce, and it is made in like a lab. Literally, it's like.
By the way, it's mostly like just beans or lentils ground up and mixed with some flour and some oil, and that's it.
Like lab-grown meat, and versus a cow.
I understand. I'm not saying it's healthy, but
No,
at the
but
same time, a cheeseburger is not the staple of a healthy diet either, like with cows.
If
so.
I had to choose like a double cheeseburger from Culver's or an Impossible Burger, it's a double cheeseburger every single day. That is better for you. Like, it's not even close. It's like not even close.
That's fair. So, but either way.
And let me interrupt.
You can eat mostly whole
The fact
foods.
that we have to make Franken food, like Frankenstein food, is one of the greatest arguments that we should continue to eat real meat.
I eat only whole foods. Like
No, I got it. But you're the one that brought up Impossible Burgers. I didn't.
I know.
Right?
I was saying that I was.
No, he even didn't. Charlie Kirk was the one who brought up like manufactured food. Okay, of course, he said Impossible Burgers. But, that's a. I don't know which one this fallacy, but he's just taking something out of nothing.
You're gonna keep going and saying that that's not like an example. A lot of people use that as an example to shame veganism. Well, that's not an example of a healthy.
I am curious. How did you get into this?
I first got into it by I saw how animals were treated in factory farms, which is what 99% of meat.
This is the easiest way for most people to go vegan. Like, you just watch the horror that happens to the animals, and then you go like, I don't want it to happen to them. I wouldn't want it to happen to me. Okay, I just gotta change a few habits. That's all. It's no big deal.
meat sold in America is factory farmed. So a lot of people say, oh, grass-fed, pasture-raised.
I mean, look,
that is only a small percentage.
I do want to thank you, because we'll get to the next question. By the way, you guys, the line's over there. I see. What's going on? It is hard to take an unpopular position, and you've taken a very unpopular public position, of which you should be commended for that.
These real-time translation.
Okay, a little bit disappointed. Wait. Because the debate was just cut short at the end, but we can see that Charlie Kirk actually had some problems. Yeah, he was like debunked in every point he made. He tried to bring up some fallacies with the we need animal protein, we don't need it. That was basically his own argument, that we need to eat it and that the Bible allows it. So how do we debunk this one? If the Bible did allow to eat humans, would we eat humans? Yes. And if the only source of protein was humans or dogs or cats, yes, would it be okay to eat cats? So that's the easy way to debunk that, by asking those questions. Person says no, and then we have a contradiction, and that's how you debunk them. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one.